Hello guys, welcome to today's class. Today we're gonna start unit number 12 and as you can see it is called Incredible, right? First we have reading. Read two incredible but true stories. In both stories a sentence is missing. Match sentence A and B with a story, then put the sentences in the appropriate position, 1, 2 or 3. Alright, so we have two stories and we have two sentences, but we have to see where these sentences are placed, if in sentence number 1, 2 or 3. Also here 1, 2 or 3. So read it and match the sentences. Alright, now let's check which are the sentences that are missing in the letter A. As you can see, well, the sentence letter A is missing in the space number 2. That's right. And the sentence letter B in the lecture B is missing in the space also number 2. That's right. Very good. Now let's continue. In the exercise number 2, we have, are the following statements true or false? Okay, so read these statements and write false if they are false and true if they are true. All right, do it, and when you finish, we'll continue. All right, now we have work in small groups, discuss the questions. Okay, so call your classmates and discuss these questions. When you finish, we'll continue. Very good, let's move on. Now we have a grammar topic. Over here we can see that it's called past perfect. Before explaining this topic, let's take a look to the exercise number 1 that says work with a partner. Look at this sentence from one of the stories on page 108 and discuss the questions. Okay, so let's take a look to this sentence. It says Paul had planned to take another flight, but the airline canceled it. Which verb is in simple past and which verb is in past perfect? Right, maybe you don't know what past perfect is, but you already know what simple past is. So, which sentence is in simple past? That's right, this verb, cancel. And which is in past perfect then? Had planned. So, had planned is in past perfect and canceled is in simple past. All right. Then in the letter B we have which tense shows clearly that one past event happened before other past event. So which of these happened first? That he planned to take another flight or that the airplane canceled it? That's right, that he had planned. And like this is in past perfect, well, the action is gonna be past perfect. As you can see, planned happened first and cancel it happened later. That's why this action clearly happened before this other action. All right. Then how do you form these two past tenses? Complete the table. So here we have two sentences, one in simple past and one in past perfect in affirmative. We're gonna change them to negative and to question. For example, the airline canceled it. How would you say this in negative? Remember that for simple past you need an auxiliary. The auxiliary didn't. So you're just gonna be the airline didn't cancel it. All right. As you can see, cancel, it is in base form because we already have didn't in past. And something similar happens in question. That you're gonna start with the auxiliary did, so that you have did the airline cancel it? Again, cancel is in base form because we have the auxiliary did. Then we have the past perfect sentence. Paul had planned. How do you think that this sentence can be written in negative? You only have to change had to hadn't. Paul hadn't planned. And in the interrogative form, well, you just have to change had with the subject. Had Paul planned? All right, in this case, we must write the verb in past participle. Why is this? Well, let's give an explanation to the topic. Here we have, you use the past perfect when you are talking about the past and you want to refer to an earlier past time. All right, imagine that we have here this timeline. We're having here now, present, then we have past, and we have earlier past. For example, we have an action that happened, I don't know, last week. I had my classes, all right? This is an action that happened last week. But before I had my classes, I had breakfast, all right? So we can say I had breakfast when I had my classes, all right? This is in past perfect because this happened before this other action, right? Here we have the past perfect clearly shows that one past event, this past event, happened earlier than other past events. Okay, so this is gonna be in past perfect because this happened first than this. And it doesn't have anything to do with the order in the sentence because you can also say, I had my classes, I'd had breakfast. Again, here we're using the past perfect because this past event happened earlier, and here we have simple past because this is another past event. But in this case, the word when will be at the beginning. When I had my classes, I'd had breakfast. Okay? Now, let's do a little exercise. Imagine that you have these two actions. We have start to watch this video and turn on your computer. What action will be first? Start to watch this video or turn on your computer? Well, if you are watching the video in your computer, obviously first you have to turn on your computer and then you start to watch this video. So we can say, I'd turn on your computer, I'd start watch this video. In this case, instead of your computer, it will be my computer. A little mistake, right? But first I had turned on my computer when I started to watch this video. Again, one past event happened earlier than other past events. All right? So this happened first and this happened next. Okay. Now, the way to write the past perfect is very, very easy. You're just gonna need the word had, always had, and a verb, but this verb must be in past participle. Remember that we also already saw the past participles. And in affirmative, well, you just need like this. I had finished my homework. As you can see, here we have subject, had, and the verb. You can also say apostrophe D instead of had, and it is correct. And also remember that the verb must be in past participle. Then in negative, a sentence like he had not started to work. You can also say the subject had, then the word not because it is negative, and you can also say hadn't instead of had not, and it is correct, and a verb again in past participle. He hadn't started to work. Then in the interrogative form, we have first the auxiliary had and then the subject, then a verb again in past participle and the interrogation mark. For example, had you seen that movie? All right, but remember guys that we can only tell these actions when we're talking about other past actions. For example, if we say I had finished my homework before I slept, so this is an action, and before this action we did this. I finished my homework first and then I slept. Then he hadn't started to work when his boss arrived. Again, first, he hadn't started to work, then his boss arrived. Finally, had you seen the movie when it was on theaters? Again, we have was in simple past and had seen in past perfect. All right? Now, let's continue with a little exercise in order to practice this. In the exercise number 2, we have in each pair underline the action that happened first. For example, here we have I had breakfast when I got to work this morning. Like this is in past perfect, well this happened first. Then for example here, when I got home yesterday, my mom had made me dinner. Again, here we have had made. This is gonna be the action that happened first. Alright, do it with the letter C and D and we'll continue in a moment. Alright, let's check the answers. In the letter C, well, I'd been will be the action that happened first, and the letter D, had started will be the action that happened first. Alright, then we have You can use already in a past perfect sentence to make it clearer which action happened first. Okay, you can use the word already to make a little emphasis that this action happened first. For example, here, I had breakfast when I got to work this morning. I'd already had breakfast when I got to work this morning. Right? We are emphasizing that we have finished this action before this other action. All right? So now you're gonna rewrite the past perfect sentences above with already. So the sentences number 2, 1, and 2 from B, C, and D, you're gonna write them by using already. This is pretty easy because you just need the subject and then had, and then you're gonna write already before the verb. So I had already had breakfast. Here, my mom had already made dinner. Okay, just like that. You just write already between had and the verb. Okay, so do it, guys, and when you finish, we'll continue with the exercise number 3. All right, let's continue. Here we have, think about the times that you have felt some of the emotions below. Remember what happened to make you feel that way. So in your notebook, you're gonna write some questions. When was the last time you felt embarrassed? Okay, and then what happened? Or when was the last time you were sick? What had you done? You're gonna do this, and then you're gonna call your classmates so that they can tell you about the last time you felt this way. So do it, and when you finish, we'll continue with the last topic of today. Alright, now that you finish, let's continue with this topic, that is vocabulary. It says, underline the collocations with have, make, and take in the stories on page 108. Then complete these statements with collocations from the box. Alright, so here we have these collocations with have, make, and take. For example, have a good time. Do you know what have a good time is? It is just to enjoy when you are doing something. For example, if you are with your friends, you are having a good time. You are enjoying the moment. Then have dinner, it is the way to say eat dinner. Instead of saying eat dinner, we say have dinner. This happens also when you have breakfast, when you have lunch. Then make a promise. I think that this is very easy. When you make a promise, it's because you promise to do or not to do something. For example, you can tell your mom, I make a promise that I will be on time here at home. Then to make money, well, it is also very obvious. It is just that you do certain activity that makes you get money. And finally, well, take pictures. As you can see, with a camera, you take pictures, all right? So complete these sentences, and when you finish, we'll check the answers. All right, let's see. In the letter B, we have the press shouldn't take pictures of famous people without their permission. Then the only reason to get a job is to make money. And then you should never make a promise if you can keep it. And finally, we always have a good time when we visit our friends in New York. All right. And well, guys, this is gonna be it for today's class. I hope that you understood everything. Take care and goodbye.